ENCA's UK correspondent Olly Barratt is joining us now for some reaction. Olly, good morning. Sad news indeed, and the world of science, of course, is mourning today after the death of 76-year-old Stephen Hawking in his sleep. His family describing as somebody who was extraordinary. How has the news of his death been received this morning in Britain?
Well, it's still only 6:30 odd in the morning here in the UK, so many people are still waking up to the news that Stephen Hawking has passed away at the age of 76. He was, despite being a scientist, which is not normally how you break through into mainstream consciousness necessarily in Britain, a towering figure in British public life, and so we can expect the tributes to be flowing all day here in Britain. We know that a book of condolence will be opened at the University of Cambridge, where he spent so much time and where he was a fellow, but tributes also pouring in from around the world as well. We've had a message from NASA who say they are remembering Stephen Hawking, the US Space Agency, a renowned physicist and ambassador of science, they called him. The tweet from NASA going on, his theories unlocked a universe of possibilities that we and the world are exploring. May you keep flying like Superman in microgravity. And also another nice tribute paid by Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is an astrophysicist. He said this: his passing has left an intellectual vacuum in his wake, but it's not empty. Think of it as a kind of vacuum energy permeating the fabric of space-time that defies measure. Stephen Hawking, R.I.P. So, as you were suggesting, a lot of tributes coming from all around the world, but particularly from the field of science, where he was such a huge figure.
Yeah, and many people will remember him about his ability to take these complex, sophisticated scientific theories and stuff and make them accessible to people like me, Olly.
Like you and me, exactly. That was exactly what he wanted to achieve, and I think we can say that he did throughout his career. That book, A Brief History of Time, which was one of the ways that he became really well known beyond the field of science, that was published in the 1980s, and that was really his attempt to bring some of his theories into mainstream thought, and he achieved that remarkably well. A Brief History of Time selling millions and millions of copies worldwide. Here in the UK, it was in the bestseller lists for many years indeed. So he achieved that ability to break through into the mainstream, did Stephen Hawking. Of course, his life featured in a well-known film in 2014, The Theory of Everything. He was played by Eddie Redmayne in that movie, and so he was a figure that was well known despite having been so heavy in terms of accomplishments within the field of science, where of course he moved the field of physics onwards. He came up with his own theories, his own thought that will continue to be influential long beyond his passing.
Yeah, and we know, of course, with that condition that he had, that way back in the 60s, they gave him 3 years to live, but he's managed to stay alive right through to 76, and also he had that operation in 1985 to allow him to be able to speak to that special electronic voice device.
Exactly, overcoming those huge obstacles in his life to still achieve so much in the field of science. As you suggest, back in the 1960s, given only a couple of years to live, and has actually gone on to live to the age of 76 and pass away in 2018, also told during his life that he would never communicate and speak again, and overcoming that barrier as well. In fact, his voice, the computer-generated voice, the way he communicated in the latter stage of his life, became really an iconic sound which became associated with science and knowledge and expertise. So yes, Stephen Hawking really overcoming incredible barriers to achieve so much in the field of science and to take that field into the mainstream as well.
Thank you very much. ENCA's UK correspondent Olly Barratt. I'm sure during the rest of today there'll be more tributes pouring in from many parts of the world as the news continues to spread of the death last night of Stephen Hawking in his Cambridge home in the UK. He was aged 76.